Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here on December 16th. Let's jump right into our charts and see what happened in the markets today. First up, we got our February live cattle on the board. Another tight range day here as this cattle market remains pretty comfortable right around 230. This February contract with a tight range day only trading in about a $1.60s range, briefly poking above that prior day high, but just not really able to get any follow through either direction here today. Prices are still in bullish territory here, and we expect to see this uptrend continue to unfold. Whether or not we need to see a pullback from here and find some support at this value area down here around our major moving averages that have begun to turn higher, or whether or not this market's just going to push out of the top here and close that gap, remains to be seen. But we still have a pretty good environment here for the bulls as we head into year end, showing good signs of life here as they're continuing to hold these higher prices right around 230. Look for this cattle market to keep on inching higher here. Just need to see if we're going to get that breakout here early with some early bids above 231 and a quarter, or if we're going to need to revisit some of those value areas to pick up some leftover buyers before turning this market higher. Either way about it, though, this cattle market looks like it's in good hands and should continue higher into year end. March feeders on the board. We did see this market poking above and getting a close above our prior day's high, but still trading below our pivot point for the week. This market briefly poking up there towards 338.5 as the high of the day, falling short of that bull pivot at 39.17. Same story here as that live cattle market. Prices just kind of hanging steady here, remaining comfortable in this bullish territory. We'd like to see this thing pull back and offer some value area buying points for some bulls that maybe have missed this early rally off that Thanksgiving week low. If this market does continue to pull back down here towards 330, we'd want to see some support at our major moving averages. They've started to turn higher. However, if we don't get any of that pullback that we're expecting, and we just see this market continue to push up here through these prior week highs, look for this cattle market to keep on pushing up into this gap, try and get that closed up there at 345, and keep this uptrend rolling into year end for this feeder market as well. Next up, March corn futures with a nice solid break here today. Prices shooting down here below that prior day's low and finishing the day right around 436. Breaking this downtrend line here, but still trading inside this late November week low at the moment. We expect to see this market continue to break now that we got beyond this 440 range edge, and we're starting to break down out of this trend line. Look for this market to start to head lower. If we do continue down here and get some offers below 434, which was this November low, we should see the selling pressure really start to kick in and see this market head back down here towards 4.25 and potentially lower. So with this break and this close down below prior day's low, this has the door open for the bears to take a shot and get this market rolling into a new downtrend. Next up, crude oil prices continuing to flush today. Had a nice little break as this market just hit the ground running and never looked back, pushing all the way down there towards 55 at the low of the day. This market pushing down into new yearly lows, so this is a good sign for the bears that these lower oil prices are expected to continue. New lows brings more lows. So look for this crude oil market to keep on drifting lower. And next up, we got our equity indexes continuing to chop up and provide a little bit of weakness in this equity market, showing signs of weakness. However, this market's still trying to hang out right around this 50-day moving average. The NASDAQ did briefly poke down below it. We are still trading below that 50-day, but this nice strong reaction we had into the close shows that we could be seeing some buyer support down here. The S&P as well, also briefly poking down below that 50-day average, but snapping back and getting a fairly strong close here today. If this market does continue down below today's low, look for that selling pressure to keep on pushing down towards this prior swing low. However, if we do continue to see some support inside today's range and we do get some bids above today's high, look for this market to turn higher and start to head up there towards the 7,000s and get this market rolling back to the upside. That's all we got for tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.